So welcome to Piece of Drawing. I wanted to do one about my process of drawing a comic. As you can see, my new format, I do it on the computer, Adobe Flash. I used to work on pen and paper, on Bristol paper, but this has a lot of advantages. It's a lot faster. I don't have to buy paper. I can redraw things very easily, zoom in, zoom out. There's some disadvantages. I think the quality of drawing isn't quite, you can't quite get the same exact texture of the paper is a big thing. You can't quite get it with the on the computer. You can zoom in a lot more and you can do a lot of interesting things, and I think with editing, I could do a lot more. I could make a better comic. So overall, I think it worked better. So as you're seeing right now, I go in, I work on a 4-panel format, and on the first panel is kind of the introduction. So this comic is about Earth Day. So we have Sol telling Virgil that it's Earth Day, and then in the second panel, he's kind of expanding on that. The third panel in the four-panel comics is usually kind of a twist on the second panel. So in this one, Virgil is kind of saying like, oh, he didn't realize all this stuff, like it was Earth Day, that he forgets about it. And then we resolve it in the fourth panel, trying to twist that again. And a lot of times it's done in a humorous way. I don't usually focus on that. I usually just try to find something that I feel like people can relate to, that's real. So in the fourth panel, they say, well, maybe every day should be Earth Day. So anyway, I don't really make jokes. I just try to make something real. And going through a comic, it's a lot faster on the computer as well. Doing the comics on the computer is a lot faster. And, since I often have different ideas, it's really helpful to me because then I can go back and edit. And I might go through and do this comic in an hour and a half, but then I'll come back and I'll rewrite it some more because it just doesn't fit. Maybe half of my comics I'll keep, half of them, I don't have super high standards, but they're just not there for me. So my general process is, as you can see, I've kind of been talking over. I have 4 panels. I go through and I kind of sketch out the backgrounds. I sketch out everything. Since I've been drawing these characters for so long, I don't really have to look at references. I try to keep the characters in the general feel of what they are and what they should look like, but I don't really follow a character sheet or model. I feel like that makes the drawings feel really stiff. So I go through and I do a rough, and then I come back and I sketch it in. I draw it on the computer in the final form. As you can see here, it's sped up about 4 to 5 times, going through, and I'm drawing Solomon and Virgil, and then I'm going through each panel. I'm going to come up pretty soon to where I'm doing my text box, and I go through and I try to move the text boxes around. I try to figure out exactly how to say what I want to say. And this font is something that I created based on my own handwriting. I like the handwritten font, but I kind of prefer the readability of the computer-generated font. So I go through and I do that. I put that on another layer on Flash, and then I, move it around a little bit more, and I draw balloons that, since it's on another level, I can draw balloons, and then once I'm done with the balloons, I can fill them in with white so that the background is not visible through them. I usually take a couple more passes, looks at it, and then I'll decide if the comic's where I want it to be. A lot of times I'll come back like a day later and decide if I want to change things up a little bit more or if something's not working out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Once I'm done with the comic, I usually put it on YouTube, Facebook. I am in kind of a rut about where to place it or how to market it. I think that's something I've always struggled with art. You know, I do this stuff and then it's like it just sits there in this kind of abyss.